Hello, boys and girls.
Hello, all.
How y'all doing?
The bounce is homecoming. It's coming home.
Go, what, girl? What? you didn't even think it through one bit.
The bounce
is what?
Grace to tell us what the bounce is. We have a really cool guest in the house today.
Yes,
Very
we do.
Exciting. We have Grace Ladoja in the house.
Woo!
Whoop-de-whoop.
Hi. How are you doing? Who is looking infinitely cooler than everybody in this room? Everybody in this room is tough.
No, you're both looking great.
Grace, do you want to introduce yourselves to our audience?
Yes, I don't mind introducing myself. My name's Grace Ladoja. I'm British Nigerian. I am an entrepreneur. I have a few different pillars to my career. I am a music manager, so I manage some artists called Skepta and SARS and a brand called Moalola. I also have an agency called Metallic. We work with loads of global brands and do strategy that really based around youth culture and authenticity, blah, blah, blah. And then I have a festival called Homecoming, which is here in Lagos, Nigeria.
Yes. Excuse me, please. Look at how my good sis did not mention that Queen Lizzie.
I have.
And I was waiting that, excuse me, are we not going to talk about the MBE or?
It's so funny because I actually wasn't going to take the MBE.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm not like pro-royal.
Sure, yeah.
And there's a lot of problems with it's problematic actually.
Yeah.
But then I remembered, like, one of my good friends reminded me that some kid can use you as an example of like having an alternative career and getting an MBE, and their parents will understand that.
Yeah.
You know? So
because you will be like, oh, what do you say? You say I want to do music. Grace has an MBE, like the
for
queen.
Music.
You know the queen.
Yeah.
She's on the money. She gave her an award. Yeah. Love that. Awesome.
Fantastic. So should we get into before we start? We always solve.
Before we solve, there's already a problem.
What's the problem?
Pan to this young man. Take camera to this boy. This is already something that we need to solve. Charity always begins at home. In terms of your socks, I just want to. Okay.
It's going to.
No.
Are you sure?
Okay, let me just ask you a serious question. This socks is it original?
Yes.
When did they start making these two ticks? Okay, that
really,
okay.
It's one
Hold
sock.
on now.
No, it's true. It's an authentic
Now, here's the thing. This shoot that I wearing with the socks.
The loafers.
Did you dress up and then plan to wear like a different shoe? Then you now wore the shoe? Or I just want to know how we arrived. Because, one thing about this, the theory of chaos. One thing about this Michael Jackson is that every time I see him, like there's like a deep chaos in his spirit. There's always, it's itching to come out. Yeah. So what would have happened is that he would have dressed up and realized I actually look just like sensible, normal. And thought, I know what I'm going to do next. I'm going to wear calf-high socks and loafers. And therefore, I'm going to look like a mix between a homeless person and a lesson teacher. Anyway, so that's what's going on today. Please go ahead.
So our first problem comes from someone called asking for a friend. And she says, hey guys, love your show. And I've written twice, so I had to change my name so you guys don't think I have too many problems. Here's the thing. Someone close to me, I promise you it's not me, has started seeing a guy she likes. He's decent looking and spends on her and seems cool from afar. I haven't met him, but she only has good things to say. I don't exactly trust him because I don't know him, but it's her life, not mine. Thank God you know. My real problem is that he seems to be going through things and she's having to comfort him constantly, even though she has her own things going on. I don't think he knows her well enough to keep placing these huge emotional burdens on her. I know it sounds kind of heartless, but is it wrong to expect that you kind of hold up on trauma dumping in the early stages of dating? Isn't that what your friends are for? I'm worried for her mental. I want to tell her to step away for a while. Am I evil? Girl, you're not going to tell her to step away. Well, fake, do you know what starts?
Girl, like, first of all, do you know what? Fair. Because especially for my friends, I want them to live a soft life. So, like, you've just started dating somebody. Next thing, this week, he's having a problem. Next week, he's having to, excuse me. Do you know what I mean? You don't even want to take the dating a bit slowly before. We all have deep-rooted issues. It's not day zero that we all And the way her friend knows is that, when someone has complained to you so much that you now have to tell someone else so that you can understand what you're meant to do. Personally, I don't know about, it seems a bit early for like heavy stuff.
I think heavy stuff constantly is what you're
I
saying.
think it's a flag. It's a red flag for me.
Red
Big
flag.
And it's also linked to narcissism. A lot of, and it's true. My friend wrote a big article on it. It's like there's a narcissistic trait to bring trauma in very early.
Yeah.
To have someone feel like they gain the trust really quickly and then they start depending on you. Do you know what I mean? And that's what it is. So not that that's the case, but it does happen sometimes.
So when did you like kind of get into this industry? Where did it start?
Like music and like the creative industry.
I've always been I started in film. So I studied film and psychology.
Okay.
I wanted to make films about people. So I feel like my life is one big film.
Okay.
So I'm good at narrative. That's my key. I'm good at narrative. So then I was working with a brand called Supreme for a long time. I've actually been working with them for 10 years.
Supreme.
Yeah. And they were opening in London and I wanted to book a UK artist. And I was like, who am I going to book? But I rely on my intuition. And I bumped into Skepta that night. And I was like, oh my God, I need to book Skepta.
Yeah.
And I really believe in that. So I was like, okay, we were at a show and I was like, okay, let me connect with him tomorrow. I didn't know him personally.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, someone will connect me with him. So I asked to meet him the next day and then we met and there was a few things that happened that have defined our friendship.
Yeah.
And then he was just talking about where he was and what he wanted to do. And like, I was like, this is like a cultural story.
Yeah.
So you need to like treat it like that and start from scratch. He wanted to just travel. He wanted to meet like-minded people. He wanted to, really connect with that. And that's what I did and do anyway. So I was like, you know what? Let me help you to connect those dots a little bit. And he played my show for me.
Yeah.
But it was like more like we met and we were like instant friends.
Yeah.
And that was so beautiful because, like when those relationships start and that's how I feel like our friendship and our relationship still is. It still feels like it was based on this right foundation. So then that happened. And obviously I worked with him now since 2015. So almost seven years, which has been amazing. And then, so that was kind of the key pivot into working in music. And along the way, I met Sars, who's an incredible producer.
Yeah.
And to me, Sars has another story to tell, which is a narrative-based story. He needs to explain the music of this continent and tell people why it's music for the world and do it in a way that is connecting with people.
Yeah.
So I wanted to work with him based on how great he is talent-wise, but also the story he can tell. And then I started an agency because I love brand work. I feel like that's one of my easiest and best skills. Like I know strategy. Like
we'll discuss.
I'm
brand
great
work, Abby. No.
strategy.
We'll
I
indeed
believe
discuss.
it. So I know how to tell those stories for things. So I was getting loads of jobs. So me and one of my best friends, Alex, who was at Nike, were like, let's start an agency. And we've been working with those brands for so long. But brands keep you relevant.
Yeah.
They keep you on your toes. So it's really good to do that. And then, so then I came back to Nigeria for the first time like 10 years ago. My mom had passed away and I wanted to meet all of her family because like you're on the phone to people.
Yeah, and
so
you don't see them.
You don't see them. So I was like, me and my brother came, and then when I touched down, I felt like I was home. I truly believed, like, wow, now I know who I am. It was immediate. And from that, I was like, obviously, Skepta's also Nigerian. So we were talking about like what we were gonna do. We were coming back for shows. It was fun.
Yeah.
And we were like, we have to do something now. What are we gonna do? And our friend Greatness Dex came up with this name, Homecoming. Dex has the best words. Together we push, greatness first, homecoming. He's incredible. And, no one was driving it. So I was like, you know what? I want to do that. And I wanted to do it built on the values that I care about, which was like amplifying the youth, like empowerment, like creativity, like the sector that is kind of ignored in Nigeria at that point. It felt like it was like, it's not a thing that you want to talk about.
Yeah, people used to be like, so is this what you're really like, this is your full time?
Creative.
Like, is that what you're doing?
You're doing create. And a lot of people would tell me like, my parents don't know what I'm doing. They don't understand what I'm doing. So I became like a person that people were like always asking me like, how am I going to do something? So I was like, this festival will amplify what's happening in those sectors, music, fashion, art, the creative scene. And we will always be able to share learning.
Yeah.
Like we will tell people openly how to do what they're supposed to do. And that's kind of the foundations of how things were built. So
Do you know what I love? She just said, "Oh, my friend," and I said, "Let's start an agency." So we started an agency.
Yeah.
And I think I also
There's so many things that I was like, what?
I know, because crazy. I had no desire to do music management. Everyone
then you
thinks
just-
that,
you just
and I
came
don't
into
see myself
it.
as a manager. And I swear down,
Really?
I do not see myself as a music
You
manager.
managed to quite
I know,
large
but I see
music.
myself as like someone that is working together to
with
build
people.
a bigger vision. Like we're trying to make visionary people that stand the test of time. So that's not like a music manager to
Yeah.
me. That's like a partnership to have a long-term kind of.
But where does the bravery come from to do certain things? So I think people have like really big dreams and they also actually have the capacity. So it might not have been tested yet, but in the creative industry, another thing is you don't necessarily, even if you graduate from like music school or you actually went to film school or you have a degree in advertising and marketing, it doesn't matter. Like a lot of it is just putting one step in front of the other, but people don't know that. And so people get really, really like intimidated out of doing what they want to do. Like how did you figure out like, okay, this is actually what I want to do. And how did you figure out that it's not just wanting to do something, but actually taking steps to get it done? Where does that because it's literally just the bravery of saying, okay,
yeah,
I'm
it's
going
giving
to do
yourself
this.
permission to be like, actually, we're doing this, and that's what's gonna be.
But I think it comes down to a couple of things, and it's true because it's like the main reason people don't want to do stuff is they don't want to be embarrassed.
Yeah.
Let's be real. You don't want
You
to
don't
do
want it to
something and
flop.
then be like homegirl. She doesn't want to give her heart and then be embarrassed because he cheats on her, right? So it's the same in any industry. It's like it's gonna happen. Inevitably, things are gonna go wrong.
Yeah.
So I already say to myself, bad things are gonna happen, but we're gonna get through them. Do you know what I mean? So it's like I already know that my approach is that let me be open to anything happening, but I'm still gonna go because if I don't do it, I'm not fulfilling what I believe my own purpose is. And I think that purpose has a lot to do with it. And people always say like, purpose, oh my God, it sounds so big. Your purpose could be as simple as like you care about the environment,
Like
and
that's
you
what
want
you
to,
should do.
you want to contribute to it, saving the planet, and then you find a way to do it. My purpose is like young people. I care about their future. I care about the change they're going to make.
What a mom.
And I'm really a mum. So when I had a baby, everyone was like, oh my God, makes sense. But yeah, it's like I care about young people and we need to make sure they're prepared to change the world because I can't change it. It's too late. Like what needs to happen, I can contribute. It's not going to be me. I'm not going to be president. I'm not, those things, it's not going to happen for me, but we can prepare them
to take it on. When you're younger, you have less to lose.
You have nothing to lose.
It's actually a lot freer because it's like, okay,
a mistake at 17
see
that costs you a year and a mistake at 30 that costs you a year are very
those
different.
years, like a year at like 32, 33 can feel like a lifetime. First of all, what were we doing at 17? I was
also an embarrassment at that age.
Yeah,
Can be like,
you can chalk it to the game.
The
At
world
33,
sees it.
when you're having embarrassment, it's like, sis,
It's part of why
why don't you know this game?
So my cousin is graduating from university she's finishing at NYU in May. And I'm going to try and see her pretty soon. So my mom was like, so what will you guys talk about? And I'm going to encourage her to not be afraid of making certain mistakes. So I spent a lot of my early 20s being worried about my reputation, being worried about like feeling like I had to do certain things in a certain way to be seen a certain way. It wasn't about doing it because I wanted to do it, but I was very, very worried about people associating me with failure, associating me with like what I would have considered a big dating mistake or thought that I was just too playful. And now I'm about to turn 30 and I feel like I'm now chasing that. Like the freedom that I should have had then is what I'm trying to do now. Like I felt like I didn't open myself up to experiences.
Those years of worry.
Yes. And now you realize that actually nobody, like it's not that deep.
It's really
it's
not.
like fair
Like,
pride.
it's not that
Those
deep.
two things.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
remove them, eradicate them.
I'm like, okay, I failed. Okay, everybody has talked
it's
about
cool.
me, and I'm still here.
And
like,
I remind
do you know what
myself
I mean?
tomorrow's a new day.
Yeah.
People wake up and like we just announced Homecoming. People can be saying the lineup is dead, is shit, it's rubbish, this is crap. Grace Ladoja is a failure, her dad's a governor. Whatever they want to say, they can say whatever they want. But tomorrow it's a new day.
Yeah.
So I tried something. Did you try something?
Yeah, you're gonna do what you're gonna
So whenever
do.
you say, whenever I say to these kids, if no one's trying anything, then where do we stand?
Yeah.
We have to try something. And your point is incredibly valuable. It's like a lot of people, and like especially Black people from Nigeria, those restraints of like, I've got to make people proud, the failure, the pressure is even bigger on them. So we have to dispel it. We have to empower them. So like that's why like these kids, I don't know if you know them, Motherland.
I do know them with
Motherland
the
that are like in the UK now. If you look at all three of them, they're thriving. Some of them are making 6 figures.
Oh, wow.
6 figures in London.
Can you hear? I said we should buy skateboard. You did not hear.
6 figures in London because they always had it. It just needs to be embraced and empowered. They always had it. It was in them.
Speaking of motherhood.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of motherhood, how's that going?
It's the best job. I swear.
Honestly, I'm very much enjoying it. I love like moms who are like having a great time.
I love my son. He's so jokes. I have the best time with my son. Like he is amazing. I'm so blessed to experience motherhood. And it wasn't easy because obviously like I had lots of things that happened that would prevent me from being a mother. Like I had fibroids and then like had to have a few surgeries, really common in Black women. But without correcting that, I wouldn't even be able to have my son.
Yeah.
And I'd miscarried, but previously. So it's been like a journey.
Yeah.
But when I look at my son, I'm like, this is the best thing I did for my life.
Yeah.
Like you are amazing. You're like just like here to like ginger. Like, you're here to ginger and know that life is gonna be good for you.
I think parenting must be interesting because sometimes I do something that's not a big deal.
Yeah.
And let's say, and I'm not saying it like modestly. I mean, I genuinely do something that's not a big deal. And my mom will come and say, wow. She'll be like, wow.
I'm so impressed.
Wow, this is something. I'm like, mom, it's not a big deal. She said, no, other people's children are not doing
The
it.
last episode, my mom kept posting that we had Patrice Evra, like with a Z. And I had to be like, sis, I beg. I love the support in terms of the spelling.
Yeah. It's so interesting. My mom and dad.
Like this, babe. She posted it like 5 times.
My mom and dad work together. Like they work in the same finance firm. So they went to do something in like Nasarawa yesterday, and they went and came back on the same day. Like I called my mom. She's like, no, we're fine. Nothing happened. So she gets home. I'm like, oh, you're back. She said yes. That while she was on the road, she just kept thinking about the things that are important to her, like her children, because, she must attend her children's weddings. I said, Mom, that's not what is important. Your life. She said, no, nobody will nobody will represent me at my children's wedding. I said, okay, do you know what, girl? I don't have
Mother's Day. I got the highest shade. So we took everyone, me and my brother, we took everybody to lunch for Mother's Day. As my grandma just sent me a text, lovely Mother's Day. Hopefully the next one will be in your marital home. I said, God, please.
She
sent me the text.
I can't even move forward.
But there's a lot of pressure. But I think that there's 2 things. I had a child before getting married, which is not common.
Yeah.
Like I was like, it came before and that is how it's going to be. And you just have to push through. But I think that the child softens everything.
Yeah, because when they see a baby, like, what are you going to say?
The child is here. Okay, we can figure out the rest. But equally, it's not that easy. And I know that, like, obviously, Instagram's highlights, whatever. It's not easy, but my advice to mothers is don't take it too seriously. As long as the baby is not being hurt, like, you're cool. Sometimes you can get fixed on one thing.
Getting every single
that's
thing.
not even remotely important. And forget anyone else's child. Why don't you take out anyone else's child and what they're doing or whatever anyone's saying to you about
parenting style
this kid's why is this kid? Just go for it. Do you? And anytime your child is doing the craziest thing, ginger. If you're giving it, me and my son, we dance. When he's crying, I take him out and we go and dance. And then he's like back into a mood. So we have a lot of fun together. And I think that there was a point where I didn't know that. And I was like, oh my God, he's not sleeping. I need him to sleep at 2:00. And I was like stressed that he wasn't. I'm like, you know what? If he's going to sleep at 4, he's going to sleep at 4. Like, what? He's a baby, Like, it's just like, we're trying our best and just go with it. But I will urge mothers to, if someone's going to pay you to take long maternity leave, take every blood clot day. Take every day because someone is paying you to enjoy time with your child.
I'm so glad to hear that, like, you're like enjoying motherhood. And
it's fun.
It's treating you good. But let's talk a little bit about homecoming. So,
What's
Tell
the
us
like? What's the
going
game
on?
plan?
You know?
Yeah,
Beckham
like
is
what's
a bit of an
happening?
oldie. She doesn't
Oh,
know.
shut
Oh
up.
my God.
She doesn't know what's going on.
You know, have you seen that meme? Hello, fellow kids.
Yeah.
That's it. Have you seen that TikTok?
No.
And I'm
Oh my
just
God,
like,
TikTok.
okay, but must you?
Yeah.
You like,
I
why
love
can't
that
you leave it
place.
for them?
I love that place.
I'm like, we can see you struggling.
No, but
With
it's a
your
struggle.
age.
I know I'm struggling. I can't lie to you. My assistant is coming tomorrow. She's like, okay, there are many things we're going to do. I said, oh Jesus. Like, I was like, Farida, I'm elderly. She's like, no, this one's will be their age appropriate.
So tell us, like,
Tell us
the
what's
game
going
plan.
on.
So Homecoming, to me, Homecoming is not. It wasn't the funny thing about Homecoming. People are like, you came to just kind of like change stuff in Nigeria, or think you're gonna know what is supposed to happen there, or like I got a lot of backlash actually.
Really?
I'm
Why?
telling you, that's why.
Like always.
From the first one, people are like, you're not even Nigerian.
I don't understand.
You're not Nigerian. You never grew there. You didn't live there. You didn't.
And
do you
we
know what I
have
mean?
that.
So I understand
bad
that.
spirit.
I understand that.
We have
But,
that bad spirit.
and like, why are you not just embracing what was already there? But the beauty of Homecoming is that it's really about just amplifying the voices. So this year we've got a lot of amazing things happening. So obviously we have the live show. Which
and
is
we need dates so people know.
Okay, so the festival is from the 15th to the 18th. Okay, music, fashion, art, sport, and that's it.
Okay.
Education.
Yeah.
Education.
Okay.
So the main thing is obviously the attractions are the music and fashion.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this year we have like amazing, we're taking over Alara.
Yeah.
So Alara, we're stripping it empty.
Wow.
like,
And doing
emptying it
your
out.
own.
And like someone's going to graffiti the front. It's really about like these kids rebelling against
They're putting
luxury
graffiti on Alara.
and putting ourselves,
Me, myself,
imagining
I feel
themselves,
anxious at this
imagining themselves in this luxury
Yeah.
space and like positioning them in luxury, because actually streetwear and street culture is going to be the new luxury,
Yeah.
and it's going to maybe be the turning point for Africa.
Yeah.
Because a lot of black designers are flourishing right
Streetwear,
now.
yeah.
So we're going to do that, but we have like lots of collaborations. Like we have like a lot of Nigerian brands collaborating with other brands. So we'd have like Wharf and Awake and Patta and, you know, like Free the Youth, like a lot of people doing that. But then we had an amazing product we made with Virgil Off-White that we're going to release during Homecoming.
Okay.
We have Drake's brand Nocta
Oh,
launching
wow.
for the first time, a product that is only going to be available in Nigeria, which is what I want to do. I make products that are only available
Yeah,
in Nigeria
yeah.
because I come from like streetwear and I love like that exclusivity, but we want to make products that the kids, you can only get it here. So we have like Drake and Nike dropping something amazing for us here. This one, which is like a huge deal actually. And then we have like another brand called Cactus Flea Market. It's quite cult, but she doesn't do anything. So her doing a Homecoming exclusive is massive. The kids are going to go crazy. We have Ambush Jewelry, but we have loads of focus on local brands as
Yeah.
well. So we have like NBDA. Is it NBDA? Yeah, NBDA doing like some products for us. We have like high fashion, like I love Roman Django and all those guys. Like we have like all this clash of different things happening in that space over those 2 days. So we have a Lara for the weekend. It's going to be like a lot of surprises and it's going to
Yeah.
be super exclusive products that are made for the festival. So that's the difference between us and maybe another festival.
Another festival,
who
everything
makes
is-
things
yeah.
bespoke. Denim Tears, who Tremaine is now the creative director of Supreme.
Yeah.
The jeans that he made, it'll make you want to walk on stage. I'm telling you, it'll make me want to perform as an artist because they're so like beautiful. It's like an art piece, you know? So I'm really, really impressed by the lineup. And like Stussy made a wicked take on a vintage tee. Like they just have a blessed community
Yeah.
of people that want to support what we're doing here.
I feel
And
like
I feel really happy about
Michael
that.
Jackson is going to be in heaven.
See, do you know
Michael
what? From here, I
Jackson's-
can hear him breathing.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, it's next week. Just wait. Do you get, like, because he's breathing heavily.
But then
Just
music
clicking away because
wise,
I could hear that
Yeah.
when you said Drake is how I'll buy that one. I said the next one. I thought, maybe I'll buy this one more. Just calm down.
relax.
So music-wise, we always have the show as a playlist.
Yeah,
'cause I
okay.
don't like hierarchy. And I feel like I like seamless shows. And I want people to... And also the stage is always close to the audience. No VIP.
I remember I
no,
went to the one at Africa Foundation.
Yeah, yeah.
Like if we were on that, we were inside the stage.
Yeah,
basically.
exactly. That was an exclusive.
Yeah.
That was 300 people.
Yeah.
That one Never
was
happened
nice.
again.
It was fun.
Wizkid and Skepta headline.
No, let me not lie to you. That was a concert.
No, you guys are looking for trouble.
That
Like
was
that was a
amazing.
concert. Like people were looking at me, like, "Come, where are you?" And I was like, "Listen, I can't say."